Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Motivating Moments. I am your host and guide for today's conversation, Pastor Steve Evans, and I welcome you in this new weekly format. Here we are. Each episode is designed to give you one focused idea that you can carry into your work, your decisions, and your daily life. So last week we talked about the fact that growth doesn't happen accidentally. It requires intention. And today we're going to be building on that idea by addressing something that holds many people captive from taking their next steps. I know a lot of people who know what the next steps should be, but they're waiting for something that quite possibly may not come. So I want to encourage you today to not stall out in pursuit of next steps. And I hope that today's content will be very meaningful for you. And as always, I encourage you that if you do find today's content meaningful, that you would like, share, and subscribe. And that will help us get the word out about the motivating moments. And others can be encouraged as well. So that next step, that deterrent to next step that hinders so many people in their forward progress is the belief that they need more confidence, more clarity, and sometimes more certainty before they move forward. Now, I want to issue a disclaimer here and say this, that I am by no means advocating that you be flippant in your choices in life, whether that's your relationships, your career, your home, your own physical. I'm not advocating for flippancy here. Okay, so I want to be very, very clear in that I am not advocating for you to be flippant. But today's focus is very simple, and that is this: that small faith still counts. And the core idea here is this: there's a familiar line from Matthew 17 where Jesus says that faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. And that verse is often misunderstood as a commentary about quantity or the quality, how much faith someone has. But the emphasis isn't really on size, it's on direction. It's on direction. It doesn't matter if your faith is the size of a mustard seed or if it is the size of said mountain. If it's never exercised, it is ineffective. It is useless. So that's our emphasis today, is that small faith doesn't mean ineffective faith. Uncertain faith doesn't mean useless faith. Faith or trust that is still learning can still produce movement. I want to say that again. Faith or trust that is still learning can still produce movement. Maybe you're at a space right now, you're at a crossroad, you're in a season, and you're not really sure what all of the next season looks like. That doesn't have to stall you there in your forward advancement. Small faith, trust that is still learning can still produce movement. You can move in an imperfect motion and still be making progress. So small faith doesn't mean ineffective faith at all. So the real issue never or rarely is, I don't want to generalize, but I'm going to say this. The real issue rarely is that people don't have enough faith. It's that they often wait until their faith feels a certain way before they act. And that pattern shows up everywhere. That's not just a spiritual principle. It's in work and leadership. It's in various other places. In work and leadership, people wait until they feel fully confident before stepping into responsibility. In personal growth, people wait to feel motivated before they'll change their habits. In decision making, people wait for perfect clarity before they can move forward. But the truth is that personal growth, professional growth, any kind of growth rarely works that way. Movement strengthens confidence. If you're lacking confidence today, let me just impress this upon you. Movement strengthens confidence. Actions clarify directions. And progress often follows obedience, not certainty. I want to say all of those again. Movement strengthens confidence. If you are lacking confidence today in the next direction, I want to challenge you to find something. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. It doesn't have to be monumental movement. But if you are stuck, do something. If you are lacking confidence in next steps, make a small stride, test, probe, do something, because movement strengthens confidence. And once you start to move, action clarifies direction. If you go the wrong way, it doesn't take you too long to figure out. That's why I say take small steps. It won't take you too long to figure out if that's the right direction or not. And then if it's not, turn around. Go back, pick a different direction, move that way. Action clarifies direction. And once you take a step and you say, well, that wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, then you know, well, let's take the next step. Let's take the next step. I like where this is leading. I can see clearer now that I've, gotten to a different echelon, or I've gotten to a different plateau. Now I can see better. So that action has clarified direction. And progress will follow obedience, not certainty. You will never sit around and certify or certainly yourself into progress. You will just have to do it sometimes obediently. So one of the quiet obstacles to growth is the belief that readiness comes before action. And that sounds like, that might sound responsible, but it honestly keeps people stuck, like we talked about earlier. It sounds very reckless and very irresponsible. And again, I'm not advocating for that at all. But we tell ourselves that I'll start when I feel more confident. I'll move forward when I'm sure this is going to work. Or I'll take the step when the risk feels smaller. And the truth is, that's never going to happen. You are not going to find that space in your life until you take some risks, until you find some momentum and say, hey, this is working well. This needs to be adjusted. This needs to be refined. I need to move. I was moving this direction, but I need to pivot now, and I need to move that direction. That is how you find true and lasting momentum with something. So when we wait to feel ready, it will delay growth indefinitely. So in reality, confidence is usually the result of action, not the prerequisite to action. Confidence is the result of action, not the prerequisite thereof. So clarity often comes after movement and not before it. So keep those things in mind. I know those are small nuggets, but those are powerful, powerful truths today. Small faith, small trust, or even tentative belief is still enough to begin. And what matters is not how strong it feels, but where it's directed. That's the application of the mustard seed. It doesn't matter how large or how small it is it exercised? And that's the same principle here for us today. This applies to leadership, to career development, personal change, even faith. Growth happens when people stop disqualifying themselves because they feel uncertain and they start using what they already have. Small steps count. Honest effort counts. Progress doesn't require certainty. It requires willingness on our parts. So here's the practical question for you and I to consider this week. And here it is. Where am I waiting to feel ready instead of moving forward? Where are you, friend? Where are you waiting to feel ready? Where are you waiting to feel more confident? Where are you waiting to have more clarity before you even take the first step forward? I think it was Martin Luther King who said, faith is taking the first step when you can't see the entire staircase. So I challenge you with that today. This Monday morning, what steps need to be taken as you are considering your week ahead? What steps need to be taken that are going to begin to produce momentum? Momentum is going to produce clarity. You're going to understand your direction better, all of those things, because you're going to sow a mustard seed's faith this week. So you're going to put that to practice. You're going to put that into place. Here's what I want you to do. Instead of asking, do I feel confident? Ask, what one step can I take with what I already have? You haven't got that promotion yet? Okay. What one step can you take from the position that you are that is going to move you forward? This step might look like initiating a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. It might look like starting a new habit imperfectly rather than not starting at all. It may look like making a decision based on wisdom rather than on fear. It may look like taking responsibility before you feel fully prepared for the task. So listen, growth accelerates when you stop waiting for the ideal conditions and start working with the real ones that you have. Is that a grain of mustard seed? I don't know. But when you start to work with it, it doesn't all have to well all up inside of you to a boiling point and then come out. Start with what's in your hand. Small faith still counts because small steps taken consistently create momentum. Listen, we're getting ready to wrap up here in just a few minutes, but as you move through this week, remember this. You don't need perfect confidence to move forward. You just need to move forward. You don't need complete clarity to take the next step. I have so many projects on my plate right now. I have so many projects in my notebook that I'm working on, and I'm trying to find the next step. And I don't have perfect clarity on all those things. All I know is that if I don't take the next step, it is highly unlikely that the door is ever going to open for me to see that come to fruition. I'm going to have to take steps. You don't need to feel strong. You don't need to feel strong. You just need to be willing. Small faith still counts. Small steps still matter. And progress often begins the moment that you stop waiting to feel ready. Okay? Progress. What is holding up your progress right now? And we often look to the peripheral and say, well, it's this individual, or it's the corporate, or it's this person, or it's this group of people that I lead, or whatever. No, it's none of that. Often it's resident right in us. We're not operating in a next steps fashion with what we have in our hand. We're waiting for this perfect storm. So I encourage you today, take those small steps, get out there, make some momentum, get the ball rolling. You don't go too far too fast, but go far enough to discern what next steps needs to be. And listen, thanks for spending this moment with me today. I look forward to continuing this journey with you and sharing more motivating moments week to week ahead. And if you enjoyed this content, if you would like, share, and subscribe, that would certainly help the podcast gain some notoriety. Not just for notoriety's sake, but so that others can be encouraged in their pursuits of the very best that God has for them. Hey, again, one last time, this is Pastor Steve signing off, asking you to visit us at motivatingmoments.online. And until next time, stay motivated, my friends.